What's up, everybody? Cash is king. Get that money. Ka-ching, baby. That's right. So we're back again with another tutorial, and this time we're still sticking to audio. We're going to be talking about mixing in Adobe Premiere Pro. I know some of you guys will be like, oh yes, definitely, finally. Oh yeah, I've been waiting for this one. So, I mean, I've been working in this industry for a couple of years now, and I've heard a few people's mixes in terms of mixing inside of Adobe Premiere Pro because you want to send to client and stuff like that. So some of it doesn't sound that great, I'll be honest with you, because sometimes music is drowning your dialogue, or dialogue is too soft and there's not enough dynamics, whatever you want to call it. So I just want to show you guys how to help you, create a more dynamic mix inside of Adobe Premiere Pro, because sometimes I feel like we are so scared of audio, like, oh my goodness, audio, how am I going to do this? I can't do this. But guys, come on, you can do it. It's very simple. And what I'm going to show you really is simple. All you need to do is just know where everything sits inside Adobe Premiere Pro. That's very important, because after editing, so offline, send it to client looks at it, oh yeah, we're happy, send it to final mix. So if you're familiar with the post-production procedure, that's how it works. So let's get into it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my footage. So this is my footage here. I'm going to import it into Premiere. So give it a second to come in. So now also with music, it depends in terms of what kind of music you're going to use, because some music has got more harmonics, some don't have too many harmonics. So which means even in terms of levels, you might not have to play with it that much. But like I say, it will always depend on what type of music you use. So for this one, I'm not sure what type of music I'm going to use, but I know it's going to be maybe, sequences, not equences. But yes, I was saying the music that I'm going to use here is probably going to be around like a hip-hop genre, very chilled beats type of music, because normally I find that when people are talking, that's the best type of music to use, because it's not too hectic, doesn't attract too much attention. So what I'm going to do now is I'm literally going to do like a quick edit. So what can we call this? Let's just call this mixing tutorial. Oh my goodness, call that RT. What is RT, guys? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, it's going to be tutorial mixing. Okay, cool. I'll just call that for now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do like an intro, maybe like a 5-second intro, just to show you guys, obviously, with how when the music comes in, because normally when you start with your music, your intro has got some type of music on it, and it's just it just flows in, and sometimes you don't know how to dip it. So that's where we're gonna start with it. Okay, so I'm going to disable the audio here because I might. Okay, so yeah, here's another trick. So you can actually select all your tracks inside of this project window here. You can right click and go to modify audio channels. You can remove the audio if you're not going to need it on there. Just press 0, it removes it. Then your audio is gone. So now even when I play back, there's actually no audio. So no audio is coming through. So only audio I'll have is second install. So yeah, so as you heard, there's audio on that last clip. Mixing in Premiere. There is quite a few ways you can do it, right? So what you can do is you can literally maybe have your music play, the intro music, okay, and then right there where your dialogue's about to come in, what you can do is just go down there. You can literally just cut that, and then you take this down, so you can use my automation lane. I take it down, and then I put a crossfade, and then let's say I put a crossfade right there. Let me just play it again now.
Well, I think what's been.
Yeah, so that's what happens. So it does dip the actual sound of the music, but the issue is that it just sounds too abrupt. It just goes, and you don't want that. You want it to sound smooth, as it goes into like the next part of the video where someone's about to talk. So that's what I want to show you guys, because I know I've heard a lot of, not I know, but I've heard a lot of offline mixes that sound like that, like literally audio just drops, poof. So you want to smoothen it out a bit. So this is what I'm going to do for you guys. So I'm going to undo everything I just did now. Undo. Okay, undo that cut there. All right, cool. So now the other way to do this is you can use your keyframes, like I said. So you can actually draw actual keyframes on this the audio keyframes. You can actually draw the keyframes on there so that it actually dips properly. So let me show you how to do that. So what you do is you create your first keyframe. So to create a keyframe, you press Command, and then you get a plus sign next to that arrow there, your selection arrow, basically, like that. You see, if I press Control, it gives me that, and then I click on it. So that's the first one, and then I click to make another one. So once I've created the second one is the one that I'm gonna actually dip, like reduce to be lower. So when you actually hover over it, you get your selection tool with a little keyframe sign just under it, which is white. You can take that down. So then now what that does now is going to gradually decrease the audio itself. So I'm going to play it quickly.
Well, I think what's been a central theme out of today.
So yeah, so you heard that there was actually a gradual increase, but it decreased before it got to the point to actually where the dialogue starts. So what I'm going to do is just select these, shift click on both of them, and then I'm just going to move it like that so that it dips, like give it like literally about a split second so that it dips while he's about to say his first word, so that you can't hear that it's actually you've done a keyframe, it's about to dip or the audio is about to change. It's a bit annoying sometimes when I hear videos like that and I'm like, okay, here comes a dialogue, but the actual dips comes too early. So yeah, so let me just play it for you.
Well, I think what's been a central theme out of today's.
Okay, so I mean that's the other way of doing it, but obviously that doesn't sound 100% because it's still a bit loud when he goes into his first word, so it's not smooth enough. So now the way that we do it in Final Mix, right? So by the way, the reason I say we is because I am a sound engineer, so I'm an audio Final Mix engineer. This is what I do for a living. I mix audio. That's what I do. Editing, I kind of learned on the way, of this whole media industry, because you can't be a one-trick pony in this industry, especially in South Africa. I don't know. I think in other countries, I'm sure, like you have to do like 5 jobs, or like it's actually quite. I digress a bit. Let's actually talk about this. So in South Africa, you're a final mixer, you're a sound designer, you're a sound editor, you're a Foley editor, you're the music supervisor guy, you're the music editor, you select music or you compose music. So essentially, if you're a sound guy in South Africa, you play 8 roles. Crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. But anyway, let's carry on. So what you can do is go to your track window where there's a track mixer. So you go to window and then you go to audio track mixer, you select your sequence. Cool. So then now my music's sitting on track 2. So I'll click that and I'll go there, track 2, scroll down a bit so that I can see the actual thing. In final mixing, we have different automation modes. So the automation modes, what they do is they allow you to manipulate automation in different ways, or let's say it helps your automation behave in certain ways. So we've got read, latch, touch, and write. So read is basically the default automation mode that you have when you come here into Premiere, the track mixer, as you can see on the screen here. So what read does is that it does not record any automation. It actually just, as it says, it reads the automation. So whatever automation is there, it just reads that and translates it into how you want the audio to react. So latch, the way it works is exactly what it means. Like a button. If you press a button and it latches, it stays there. It does not go up and down, does not snap back into like its normal form back again. It doesn't snap back. So that's what latch is. Touch is the reverse. So touch basically is once you touch the automation, you move it up and down, it will do automation. Once you let go of the fader, it will reset to the previous level of where it was and everything. And then write, okay, write I don't use much, but write allows you to actually write. So which means physically you can go in and write on the track itself and do all the automation that you need. So, but I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I've never used write in Adobe Premiere Pro, so I don't know what it actually looks like when you actually use it. I know that when you use it in Pro Tools or use it in any other audio program, you can actually write the actual automation itself with a pencil tool or whatever tool that program uses. So I'm going to use Touch. The reason why I use Touch is because Touch is a bit more flexible for me, because if I want something to just snap back to where it was previously, it's a bit easier, because then it will be very smooth as well. It won't be too drastic if you mix it properly, obviously. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go into Touch quickly. All right, so I'm in Touch mode now. Okay, so I'm going to start mixing. So now, when I move the fader up and down on here, it doesn't affect anything here in the timeline, so you can't really see your real-time automation as you're doing this. It's a matter of just listening of what's going to happen. So let me start the music. So here we go.
Well, I think what's
Okay, so obviously you're gonna have to do this a couple of times just to get it right. You won't get it right at the first go. So let's do it again.
well, I think what's
Yeah, okay, let's take it from here. Okay. You know what? Let's reset this actually. Let's just reset this quickly. Okay. Do you know why it wasn't doing anything, guys? Because I have Touch on the wrong track. So yeah, so just be mindful that you always have Touch enabled on the correct track. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Here we go.
Well, I think what's been a central theme out of today's discussion is this lack of mentorship. That a lot of football players have experienced, either in the pinnacle of their football careers or when they first started out. And I think that's the role that Maenetja would like to fulfill in here.
So yeah, so we're just gonna listen back to that. But if you were listening and you could hear it, you could hear the music dips and then it comes back also after.
I think what's been a central theme out of today's discussion is this lack of mentorship. That a lot of football players have experienced, either in the pinnacle of their football careers or when they first started out. And I think that's the role that Maenetja would like to fulfill in here.
All right, so we just listen to what I've just done. So I'm gonna refine it a bit. Just make sure that it actually dips properly and smoothly, because I think at the moment it dips too harshly and comes back too early. So let's refine it now.
I think what's been a central theme out of today's discussion is this lack of mentorship. That a lot of football players have experienced, either in the pinnacle of their football careers or when they first started out. And I think that's the role that Maenetja would like to fulfill in here.
Okay, and that's it. I've mixed it. It sounds a bit better now. I think it sounds a bit better. But when you're doing it, you can refine it and just get it to sound right. Because it's very important that when you send it to a client, it doesn't sound too loud. Also, it doesn't sound like there's too many glitches in there. So you heard there's some glitches in there. So I need to add some crossfades. Make sure you add your crossfades at all times. Very important in your audio, guys. Please add crossfades. Otherwise, it just sounds tacky. I know some of you guys are not professional sound engineers, but trust me, if you just put a crossfade, you'll sound like the most professional person in the world. So I urge you to do that. So that's it for today. Thank you.
think, what's been a central theme out of today's discussion is this lack of mentorship, that a lot of football players have experienced, either in the pinnacle of their football careers or, when they first started out. And I think that's the role that Netec would like to fulfill in here.